Nose acne is no joke, Jim. Millions of people suffer from it every day. And I'm one of those people. Please subscribe to me. I'm desperate. I don't always agree with HasanAbi, but I think this time he's right on the money.
Joe Rogan is officially turned into a Karen?
I love the system.
Why? I've made a video on Joe Rogan before, and I was completely on his side. So sometimes he says controversial stuff with the video game video. Nice. I was completely on his side. So sometimes he can be like against the norm, but also completely correct in my opinion. But right now, come on, dude. Come on.
Some reality. It's not
Whatever.
Wise. It's not healthy.
Well, the
Trump's
reality...
74 and he's fat and he kicked it in 4 days.
Yeah, but
I don't give a what anybody.
Yes, that's...
I don't give a what anybody says.
Okay, he's right. That's a pretty funny start. But also... that's pretty funny. But also, yeah, not everyone with risk factors is gonna die. Not everyone with risk factors is gonna get intubated and almost die. No one said that. No one said that there was 100% mortality rate. No one said that. What does one person say to you? Second of all, I'm not 100% sure about that, but I think there was some health report on Trump and his, he didn't even have hypertension. It was 120 over 77 or something. I don't think Trump is that unhealthy, even though he's obese. I don't know.
Oh my god, is he actually this person? Stop. Oh, come on. He's not one of these.
Stop. Little known fact, my middle name is actually Hasan. I've just doxed myself. You're welcome, internet. Also, do I kind of look like him? I feel like we have we have the same thick eyebrows.
Stop.
Stop.
Oh, come on. He's not one of these dipshits now who unironically believes that COVID is not that big of a deal. Hey guys, do you want to beat COVID? Well, let me tell you, have access to the top minds on the planet. Okay, get helicoptered into one of the best hospitals on the planet, get your own personal king suite, get round-the-clock care, get round-the-clock medical care, okay? Perfect. 8 doctors taking care of you and every step of the way, every step of the moment. Get pumped full of steroids and experimental drugs that aren't currently available. Be the only person on the planet who has experimental Regeneron monoclonal antibodies, while also simultaneously getting dexamethasone, while also simultaneously getting remdesivir. Literally the only person on the planet that has all 3 of those treatments at the same time injected into your body.
That's a bit misleading, but okay.
Get flown back into your White House, your expensive mansion that people paid for. And guess what? COVID is just... You can get over it, dude. You can get over it, dude. It's so easy. I mean...
Just get over COVID, dude.
Come on, Joe. I know you're a ape. I get...
I said Hasan was, right on the money, but I don't like this take at all here. Not at all, but the take here is, what does one person prove? It doesn't prove anything. Also part of the thick eyebrows crew. Nice. Thick eyebrows gang. Those are some big words. Regeneron, dexamethasone, and remdesivir, yeah. But here's the thing. Dexamethasone and remdesivir, everybody, a lot of people use that, okay? The way he said...
Literally the only person on the planet that has all 3 of those treatments at the same time.
Literally the only person in the world that has all 3 of those at the same time. Yes, technically. But also, literally the only person that has... the Regeneron, I think. I don't know if he's the I'm just gonna go ahead and defer to Hasan here because I don't know much about politics and I don't care. But dexamethasone and remdesivir isn't that special. I don't know why he's framing it like he got 3 experimental drugs instead of just 1. Also, getting around the clock care. If getting around the clock care was automatically gonna cure COVID wouldn't be that big of a deal. He's kind of shooting himself in the foot here. That's not a great argument. A lot of people got around the clock care and died because there's not much you can do. That's the point. Third of all, we don't know that those monoclonal antibodies are the absolute savior. We don't know that that's boom. We have the cure for COVID. He's framing it like the experimental drugs are way better than anything we have, and if everyone just used that, they would be fine. But no, this is not a good rebuttal at all. The rebuttal is, but that's just one person. If one person kicked it in 4 months and he was fat and he was old, guess what that proves? Absolutely nothing. That is the definition of anecdotal.
Flown back into your White House, your expensive mansion that people paid for.
Yeah, so
and
what?
guess what?
Well, I don't get it. Why does flying back into your expensive mansion that the taxpayers paid for have anything to do with the severity of COVID? Why is this your rebuttal? Come on, Hasan.
COVID is
I expect
just
better from you.
You can get over it, dude. You can get over it, dude.
That's weird.
It's so easy.
Just get over it.
Come on, Joe. I know you're a ape. I get it. You're an ape. But goddamn, like, this is next level ape shit, dude. You're literally upset that the virus isn't as deadly as you'd hope. What kind of sick are you? What's wrong with you?
What? You're literally upset that the virus isn't as deadly as you hoped. How deadly do you think people hope the virus is? Jeez, dude, some people. Because the common American person can't afford the ambulance to the hospital? I mean, okay. I'm not saying that care doesn't matter. I'm saying that just because he has care doesn't mean he's gonna kick it in 4 days. That's not a good rebuttal. I don't know. I guess it has a point. But still, it's not a great point. You should just shoot it down as anecdotal.
You don't just get COVID and get better in 3 days, and it's not that big of a deal, especially if you're 74 years old.
What does he mean? Sometimes you do, obviously, as you can see. Come on, dude. I think he actually 100% believes that the Regeneron and the round-the-clock care is the difference maker. I don't know. That's, come on now. Bro, a band-aid from a hospital is like $2,000. I remember that from the microwave surgery robot video. It was like, you could buy a couple bandages for that. That's pretty funny. You don't think they'd have given Trump experimental drugs, which they didn't know were going to work? I mean, yeah, they would. Something can be, like, first of all, monoclonal antibodies, they just make sense. They, like, make sense because they're antibodies for the thing. So if you give antibodies for the thing, it's probably going to work to some degree, right? So first of all, you give it because of that. Second of all, you don't have to 100% know if it's an emergency and the guy's the president of the United States and it makes sense and it's promising. You can use it. I don't know. You don't have to like have a randomized controlled study that's in secret. I mean, if they knew, we'd know as well. They definitely gave him stuff they knew was safe. Yeah, I know. I mean, the safe, obviously, they can know it's safe. They don't know it's going to, like, completely cure COVID in 4 days. Come on now. I mean...
Is that the
first thing?
That's Remdesivir?
No,
they said that?
No, everyone
Remdesivir.
But the other thing he got was, like, the plasma-related therapy.
You can't get that everywhere?
No.
Why can't you?
Because you're not the president of the United States.
Or maybe the liberal media is trying to keep that from you so that you stay sick so that they can get Biden into the White House. Everything.
Wait. So he just conceded that the all right, he's joking. Obviously, he's joking.
No.
But
or maybe the liberal media is trying to keep that from you so that you stay sick so that they can get Biden into the White House.
That means you conceded that COVID is such a big deal, but it's not such a big deal because of the monoclonal antibodies. That means you just conceded to HasanAbi's point, which wasn't even that good. So, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have even opened this. It's like, both sides are just, I don't, what?
There is definitely so much confusion because that side is ramping up the fear 100%, making it scarier than it is. So
yeah, he's being sarcastic
to be president. And the other side is definitely saying from Trump on down, don't worry about this thing. So it makes it look like we did a good job and the economy comes back and all that stuff. So I'm like, this cognitive dissonance, like what is real? What I watched Tucker Carlson, he made sense for a minute and then
oh my God, dude, liberals are a burden on this planet, dude. Liberals, even well-intentioned liberals, are just such a
but he's right. What? I don't know exactly what entails a liberal, but he's saying the truth is somewhere in the middle. What's wrong with that?
Burden on intellectual thought. My God, dude. Let's just cancel it altogether. Let us legitimately return to Monka. Okay? If you find yourself looking at Tucker Carlson to make sense of the world, my God, you are.
I don't know who Tucker Carlson is. So.
Or there was an experimental virus that they were working on in the Wuhan, what is it, level 4 lab.
He's like, what is he saying? What, I mean,
I feel like he's joking. He's joking.
How many businesses are we going to lose between now and June, though? I think the real issue is people putting restrictions on what.
Dog, the problem is, even when you unshackle the restrictions, there's still aid that's necessary. There are areas in the country where they've unshackled the restrictions and people still don't want to go to those places.
All right, Hasan is starting to be on the money. Good stuff. Also, Joe is also kind of right at this point. I think they'd find common ground if they were talking here.
Partially because they're afraid of getting COVID. Because
Yeah.
the doctors are right. You don't just want to unshackle the businesses. What you want is also for the doctors to lie to the poor people
Okay.
so that everyone can
wouldn't
run
find
around
common ground
freely
here.
without the fear of getting COVID and potentially dying. That's it. And for the people who keep saying like,
As much as like we like watching videos of Karens and them be so stupid about the virus and everything, like the general public isn't that stupid, at least not here. Like people care about their own well-being, turns out. Well, I mean, it's a shocker. It's a shocker. It's not business as usual, even if you open up your business as usual.
when they reopen the economy, it's not like people flooded. People certainly still went out a lot more. They went from 0 to 3% of activity. That's still a massive leap, right? But the reason why economic activity hasn't recovered all the way to pre-corona levels is because people are understandably afraid. Your argument isn't just like, oh, the restrictions are causing the economy to crumble. Your arguments are, I hate that scientists are accurately telling us to be careful about COVID.
Yeah, that's not his actual argument, but it certainly like goes down that path, and that's what it actually means if they were talking, you know. He's right.
They are all wearing masks, but their businesses are open.
Yes.
And
Well, that's what we
they're
should have had in
testing.
LA a long time ago.
Yes, they're testing. They've got the masks on, distancing. Like I ate in restaurants, but you know it's
Yeah.
limited capacity. I performed in comedy clubs, half capacity.
But here's the thing,
Not just
man.
because of my comedic draw.
I don't think that that's scientific, because
Whoa,
there's
whoa. There we go. All right, here we go. Okay.
They are all wearing masks, but their businesses are open.
Yes.
And
well, that's what we
they're
should have had in
testing.
LA a long time ago.
Yes, they're testing. They've got the masks on,
Wait, he says that's what we should have had, but now he's saying
distancing. Like I ate in restaurants, but you know it's
Yeah.
limited capacity. I performed in comedy clubs, half capacity.
But here's the thing,
Not just
man.
because of my comedic draw.
I don't think that that's scientific, because
What?
there's aerosol. The virus is
there's
carried through the air.
aerosol.
Okay. Anytime someone says this, anytime I hate to do this, okay? I hate to do like the appeal to authority, but anytime
Please do.
someone starts talking about aerosol, particles, and like they are not an epidemiologist or like a virologist or something, I tune them out.
Okay, by the way, I'm not an epidemiologist or virologist or something, so I guess you can tune me out as well. But
I'm sorry, because I know for a fact that you don't know what the you're talking about, and you literally are just repeating some idiotic. You are repeating what you heard from some chiropractor, okay, that was wearing scrubs, so you thought that chiropractor was a doctor, and you are absolutely just repeating what that chiropractor said on a YouTube video.
no shade to chiropractors, but if the chiropractor's saying that don't wear masks, they don't work, why are you wearing masks? Are you dumb? Then yeah, all the shade to them.
This has pretty much been confirmed.
Yeah.
They used to think it carried through droplets, which is the reason for the whole 6-foot social distancing space. They don't think that's the case anymore. They think it's airborne.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, all that social distancing stuff is horseshit, because it's
What? What? Chiropractors are the backbone of medicine? Sorry for my bad joke. Don't apologize for your bad jokes. I told you this. Don't do that. In America, your population is 50% Karens and Kevins. Don't believe that the virus is real. I don't think it's close to 50% at all. I don't think so. I think they're a minority, like a really small minority. Anyway, Joe Rogan. Joe. Look at my face. Did you know that two things can be true at once? I know. Very, very interesting concept, right? Guess what? If HIV is a sexually transmitted disease, I'd still advise you not to share a needle with a person with HIV. Did you know that? Because diseases can spread in two ways at once. Also, airborne and droplets are both respiratory ways of transmitting. I couldn't find the word. What do you mean, Joe?
This has pretty much been confirmed. All of this is horse crap. Why are you wearing masks?
To stop droplets from coming out. Social Social distancing is horse crap because the disease is airborne. That just means you should social distance even further. How is that the conclusion you came to? If the disease is airborne, then you guys should just be away with the 6-foot rule and just hug each other now and breathe into each other's mouths, because that is the logical conclusion I'm gonna come to. But isn't air particles and airborne basically the same thing? So like droplet spread means they're big droplets, and then you're talking and you spit, and then the big droplets just fall to the ground like about 6 feet ahead of you if you're like average height. And airborne means those particles are a bit smaller. Well, like you spit out 2 types of particles, right? Smaller and bigger. Airborne means the virus can stick to those smaller particles and they can linger in the air for like hours, you know? By the way, if anyone was wondering, this is the reason that I use Firefox on stream. Because I don't want all these tabs to be open for no reason. COVID most commonly spreads during close contact. People who are physically near. When people with COVID cough, sneeze, sing, talk, breathe, they produce respiratory droplets. Infections mainly occur from this. Also, there is evidence under certain conditions people with COVID-19 seem to have infected others who were more than 6 feet away. That doesn't mean that if you're closer than 6 feet away, I'm not gonna infect you anymore. That is the stupidest take I've heard in a while. Okay? We're cool. The main way is still droplet transmission, but there is evidence of the other stuff as well. That's all it's saying. People everywhere said, have good ventilation. Because if you don't have good ventilation, the airborne droplets that are suspended, that fill the room, they're just going to stay there and you're going to have a way higher risk of getting infected. So we kind of already acted like it was sort of airborne. But then we found out that it was mainly droplet spread, and now we feel like the mask is like stopping everything and anything and everything, and we're just, you know, not social distancing when we're wearing masks, or we're not wearing masks when we're social distancing. It's not smart. It's not smart. But also, like way back in the day, like months and months and months ago, when I saw someone walking without a mask towards me, when I passed that person, I would hold my breath for a couple seconds just intuitively, because I mean, there's probably something lingering there, right? Probably, and I guess there is, you know, usually. Cough and sneeze spread disease. All right, let's keep going. That took us a while. But that was a stupid take, Joe. Oh my god, that was so stupid. That was so stupid. So what if it's airborne as well? Let's not social distance. Let's not social distance if the disease is airborne. Such a smart take.
Wait, what? Julie said it's aerosol. It's not droplets.
They don't think that's the case anymore.
Like, that's not true, dude.
That's not true, dude.
He's
That's
arguing
not
that droplets.
true.
I don't think he understands what he's saying. It's still droplets. That's how it is airborne. And secondly, there's a viral load. Like, the entire purpose of wearing masks is to avoid as many of those particles escaping your mouth and your facial area, hitting things that you can touch, or hitting you directly, or hitting the air, because those particles are what carries the virus.
Thank you. The concept of viral load is so foreign to so many people. I don't get it. It's so obvious, though. If you take a bowl of coronavirus and you drink it, that's one scenario. Or if 3 pieces of coronavirus or whatever the plural of it is, pass through the mask and escape through, and you inhale that, which of these scenarios do you think is more probable to make you sick? That's viral load. Alright, so wear your mask. It protects you, and it also protects other people. Okay? It's not rocket science. It's just common sense. If the disease is droplet spread.
Did they just sneeze on this person? Or is this when they're talking?
I'd like to
Because
know
if you
as well.
blast someone with a sneeze, it's a rip, dude. What the Hey, sorry, I just sneezed on your face. Boom, headshot.
Why are you laughing?
This is
Social distancing stuff is horseshit because it's in the air.
But not
my
if you're
God.
social distanced and have a mask on.
I'm telling you, the social distancing thing doesn't mean anything anymore.
Gotcha.
Doesn't mean. Oh my god. This is not sarcasm. Sarcasm. This is not going into your sarcasm. Your sarcasm. Oh god, ew. Okay. This is serious. He literally thinks that if it's airborne, that social distancing doesn't mean anything anymore. If the disease is like only airborne, then fair. Social distancing at 6 feet isn't as important, and it should be more. It's like us social distancing at, let's say, 2 feet right now. Seems kind of dumb, but that doesn't mean social distancing doesn't mean anything. It means you should distance even more. It means probably you should have actually locked down, as opposed to maybe we shouldn't have locked down this much this time, you know? But if it was like actually airborne, then that would have been pretty scary.
What there's
Joe Rogan is saying social distancing doesn't mean anymore.
Why is my
It doesn't mean
stethoscope in
anything
here?
anymore. Never mind, dude.
Never mind. Everybody
It was
go.
all a goof. Latest data.
So you can be close with a mask, but you're still in a mask.
A lot of these masks have holes in them.
Yeah, but that's not a good argument.
The
Like,
viral load, remember? Viral load? Remember? Just because it's not 100% protective. Like, does everything you do have a 100% non-fail rate? Like, come on.
it's a terrible argument. This is the same argument
It's
that Trump
terrible.
makes about like, oh, people touch their mask. They're not wearing the mask properly. Okay, then you solve it by making sure that people know what kind of mask they should wear.
Wear a mask and maybe it reduces some of the droplets that go out.
100%.
Maybe. I'm not a scientist, neither are you.
Okay.
He's the one making the assertions. And he's like, hey, you're not a scientist. maybe you're right. But come on now.
There's a
Now,
lot of
look,
sketchy
I'm not
bags.
saying it's not a good idea to wear a mask and maybe it reduces some of the droplets that go out.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe. I'm not a
What do
scientist.
you mean, baby? What do you mean, baby? If you walked around like this, even this reduces the droplets. It's just common sense. It's droplets. But, well, he doesn't think it's droplet spread, so I guess it makes sense in his
Okay,
mind.
first of all, Joe, we know you're not a scientist. But secondly, if you're not a scientist, why the f are you saying things right now that are
Why are you
going
saying
against
things?
what scientists
Stop saying things. Stop what you're doing. Maybe we should all be wearing full hazmat suits. Maybe. I'm not a scientist. Neither are you. Seriously, you can say anything and say maybe. Hey, maybe. Come on now, maybe.
know if you were in a room filled with people who had COVID and unless you had an N95
And the windows were
mask,
closed
unless you have a
and-
real mask, I don't know if those cloth masks are going to help you.
Yes, fair, but it would help you. I don't know if that's gonna like completely protect you. Would be a fair take, but it'll help you. It's not. There's not a 100 like just because there are 10 people in a room and one of them has COVID and the windows are closed doesn't mean every single one of them is going to get infected. But if they're all wearing a mask, that infection rate will probably be much less, right?
It's not okay to be smart. It's not. Because you are destined for a lifetime of misery. Stupid people are much happier than you.
No,
Okay?
I disagree.
It's a lie that this channel tells you in its name. It says it's okay to be smart. It's not. It's devastating.
I disagree. You can't pin your misery on your intelligence. It's not your intelligence's fault. You need to find a way to be happy and smart at the same time. Like, maybe being stupid is an easier way to be happy, but also you can be miserable and stupid. I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I feel like I'm pretty intelligent, alright? I feel like I'm at least average, maybe a little bit above it, alright? So, I'm like happy like 99% of the time. And guess what? It's because acceptance. The world is the way it is. It's cool. I live my life. You live yours. And I'll control what I can control, you know? And I'll try my best to make it better sometimes when it doesn't make me more miserable and get me burnt out, you know? Ew, Alvin can watch that though.
A mask can
Look at
stop
that.
blowing away and
She's sneezing. Nothing is coming out, basically. Hey, a lot of those masks have holes in them that can infect your own eyes. And like over here, like a foot away from you. But look at that! That's disgusting. That's so disgusting. How do we live before? I want to wear masks always now. How do I feel about wearing a mask knowing people won't be able to see your majestic beard?
can stop a virus, but it also sends a message. We're all in this together.
And that's communism! That's what they said too. What kind of Maoist bullshit is this? What kind of Maoist third worldist nonsense
I
is
mean,
this?
'cause
Joe Rogan told me masks don't work, brother.
Screwing around.
There's all sorts of weird shit.
I travel-
the
Brother.
protests. The protests were a big kick in the virus. That was a giant uptick.
Right, of
Right?
course. And there was a lot of people out there with no masks.
Not just that, they were just bumper to bumper with each other.
Yeah.
They were
Wrong!
Really?
I have friends
What's wrong?
who literally refuse when I tell them that I was one of those people who assumed that protests would cause gigantic spikes in COVID spreading. Okay?
Didn't it?
I was one of those people.
Wasn't it around that time that the cases started to skyrocket?
I was like, of course it's going to be spikes. Wrong. There's empirical evidence to show.
Interesting. I don't know. Obviously, I can't see what they used to come to this conclusion, but we conclude that the predictions of population level spikes in COVID-19 cases from BLM protests were too narrowly conceived because of failure to account for non-participants' behavioral response to. Wait. Okay. Oh, wait. That also just makes sense though. You're shouting wrong, but I don't know. I mean, technically you're right, but it's saying that the people that are I'm just going off of this. I didn't see the study at all. I'm just going off of this, but it's saying the people that went there, obviously they had a lot of cases, but when there were riots going around, people stayed in their homes and locked their doors and shut their blinds, you know? That's what he's saying. That's why less cases here, more cases here, kind of evened it out. There wasn't a gigantic spike. That's what it's saying. It's not saying, oh, it was cool to protest. It was all right. That's not what it's saying at all. Come on now. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't know. And also, I don't care.
I think this is the most consistently wrong Joe Rogan has ever been on a particular topic. Virtually every single thing he has said on this matter is just completely false. And for the...
Actually, yeah, that's actually kind of surprising to me as well. And you edited this! And you put it on the clips channel. This isn't the full podcast either. How? Also, the rioters wore masks to protect their identity. Actually, yeah, that's. But also, they were like this with the police and stuff. I don't know. I don't know if that made up for that completely, but yeah, that's a fair point.
Idiots that turn around and say differing opinions equals wrong. LA giggle. No, there is such a thing as like factually accurate information versus just completely made up nonsense that makes your fifis feel better, okay? And not to pull a Ben Shabibo, but like facts don't care about your feelings.
All I'm getting at this by with you here is that in these times where things are very
he's just
unsure,
memeing.
A lot of
he wasn't memeing at the end though. He was memeing at the beginning, but he was like, hey, it's confirmed. It's pretty much confirmed. We're doing this for no reason. That was not memeing. I'm sorry, Joe. No way, dude.
A lot of times people like to say exactly what you need to do and what's happening.
Which people, though? Which people? The people that have all the available information and are making educated guesses? Yeah, maybe you should listen to them and not make up your own mind instead. Maybe we should have guidelines. Maybe we shouldn't abolish the government, you know? Maybe the government actually has a role, and maybe one of those is not letting an infectious disease run rampant and scrambling to find out the best information and telling you how you should act. And when that information changes, the government should change their guidelines as well. Let's say, this is not the case, but let's say a year from now, the government say, yeah, masks did absolutely nothing. You probably shouldn't have worn them. That doesn't mean that the people right now that say masks do nothing and you shouldn't wear them and if you do, you're a sheep. That doesn't mean that those people were correct. That just means that the broken clock was correct for that minute. You just said something and it turned out to be true. Doesn't mean your rationale and the way you got to that point was correct, you know? Was that clear? I don't know. I'm bad at explaining stuff.
Right. As long as people do this, we're okay. As long as we wear a mask, we're okay. And I'm not.
Yeah,
not sure.
Yeah, fair. If this was the whole video, fine. Because guess what? Maybe you won't be okay even if you are wearing a mask. Don't feel a false sense of security. And maybe you shouldn't be sure of everything you're saying. Also fair. Doesn't mean you shouldn't follow the guidelines and also tell other people that they should follow the guidelines because they're the guidelines, you know? They're the best available information.
I'm not sure that's
dude, because it's not 100% correct and we're not 100% sure. It's also better to
not
increase uncertainty by just pretending. He was just pretending, dude.
He wasn't
just
pretending.
like saying masks are not 100% because people wear them incorrectly, so let's not wear them at all. I'm helping, by the way. a child's brain. God damn, man.
Well, that was a long video. Call me Philip DeFranco, because I'm passing the conversation off to you. What do you think? Which side were you on? Joe Rogan, HasanAbi, which one? Dr. Moby Dick?